Every new feature, integration, plugin or campaign page adds a business value, but it also can add technical complexity. And if that complexity is not managed early, it can lead to preventable defects, slower delivery, higher maintenance costs and avoidable release risk. And this is why automated code quality checks are part of our Nuxt, WordPress and WooCommerce delivery process. They help us detect common issues before they affect timelines, budgets or customer experience. For our clients, the value is practical. Cleaner delivery, faster developer feedback and fewer avoidable defects, and of course a code base that remains easier to maintain as the project grows. The earlier a problem is found, the easier it's usually to fix it. An issue identified while developer is still working on specific feature can be often corrected quickly. The same issue discovered later during the testing or by the real user can affect budgets, operation and, of course, customer experience. Code review and testing remain essential still, but they should not be the only line of defense. In active projects, especially those with multiple developers, frequent changes on or ongoing development, some issues can be easy to overlook when the review depends only on the manual attention. And this is why we integrate automated code analysis into our workflow from day one. It adds a quality checkpoint before the code moves further through the delivery process. This reduces avoidable rework and helps the team keep delivery predictable. Our verification process starts before a feature reaches the shared project repository that stores the code. Each change is checked against quality rules in the developer's local environment first. If something does not meet the required standard, it must be corrected before the wider team depends on it. The developer can't simply push the code that breaks the rules to the shared repository, and that's one of the best parts in this stack. And after the code is submitted, automated checks at the repository level provide a second layer of verification. So before a feature is marked as ready to review and then deployed, the workflow checks its quality level and clearly reports the results. This helps the team determine whether the feature is ready for review and deployment, while reducing time spent on the predictable issues. For clients, this means fewer delays, better budget control, and a more reliable foundation for future development. Quality standards are not optional in our delivery process, they are built into it. Every language and the framework in our stacks run through a linter and formatter before a human reviews the code. Reviewers then can spend their attention on the logic, on the business logic and important things, not on where the semicolons go in the codebase. Formatters are simply the tools that ensure consistent code style across the entire codebase. They keep code clean, unified and easy to read, regardless of how many developers work on the project. Linters, on the other hand, check code quality and logic issues, such as unused code, invalid conditions, incorrect function usage, or security or performance issues, and of course bugs that can affect the business logic. Each project can have its own stack, but with more than 15 years of experience for the client's work, we have defined quality standards that work well with most popular technologies, as lint for JavaScript and TypeScript, stylint for styles, and PHP-Stan or PHP-CS for PHP code. And here are a few examples of how these tools help protect quality before the code leaves the development environment. The first one is PHP-Stan. PHP is dynamically typed, so a wrong argument type or call to method that does not exist can go unnoticed until runtime. In the worst case, the issue appears in the production in front of the user, right? That's wrong. So PHP closes this gap by analyzing the codebase without running it. It catches code mismatches, dead code, impossible conditions, null safety issues, and it does it early in the development process. For example, if an incorrect value is passed to the function, PHP-Stan can alert the developer before the code is executed. And that's big boost. Another useful tool is PHP Code Sniffer. Where PHP-Stan focuses on logic and type-related issues, PHP Code Sniffer, also known as PHP-CS, helps keeping the codebase consistent, secure, and aligned with agreed standards. In WordPress and WooCommerce work, PHP-CS is especially useful for detecting issues such as unescaped output, unsanitized input, and missing nonces. These checks help prevent security gaps that could become business problem after the release. And as you can see on this example, it's pretty hard for the developer to not notice them. If their environment is configured correctly, they see the problems as they write code. And this is the best advantage of those tools. The next one is ESLint. In the Nuxt projects that use TypeScript, ESLint helps teams maintain predictable front-end code as the project grows. This is especially valuable when, for example, multiple developers build reusable components and share work across the same codebase. It is a standard practice for big projects that we make for our clients. ESLint can warn developers when values are used incorrectly, when rules are broken, or when the code patterns may lead to bugs. And this feedback appears before the code is run in the client's browser, helping the team reduce the front-end regressions. The next one is styling, that helps protect the quality of the product layouts and styles. It checks style sheets for issues such as invalid syntax, inconsistent patterns, and deprecated declarations. So for example, when the developer uses some declaration that is not fully supported and is marked as deprecated by the browser, stylings report it early so the code can be updated before it reaches the client's devices. This helps reducing the layout issues across the process and different screen size. And for readers who want to validate this approach with their own development team, we have prepared a dedicated technical article covering tool installation, workflow, and implementation practices. It can help business owners, agencies, and technical leads ask the right questions, assess whether similar equality checks are already in place, and identify where the development process may need to be improved, right? So we will post all the links in the video description, so check it out and you can pass it to your team. Automated code analysis value affects how confidently a product can evolve, how quickly the team can respond to changing business needs, and how efficiently future improvements can be delivered. The main benefits include a few things. Lower delivery risk, because many issues can be identified before they reach shared environment, like testing, staging on production servers. This reduces the chance of broken functionality, unexpected behavior, launch delays, and customer-facing problems. Another one is better budget usage. Automated checks reduce the time spent on finding predictable and small problems manually. More development time and effort can be focused on business problems, feature improvements, and long-term product value, not on where the semicolon go in the code. Another one is more maintainable code. Code bases without quality controls can easily become harder to understand, review, extend, and of course maintain. Automated analysis helps highlight unnecessary complexity and supports technical debt reduction. Such tools also ensure more consistent collaboration. They create a shared quality baseline for the team. This reduces the subjective review discussions and helps developers focus on architecture, functionality, user experience, and business logic. In practice, automated code analysis helps keeping software aligned with business goals as the project evolves. It also contributes to cost optimization by reducing avoidable technical friction. The automated code analysis tools described in this video are not the only protection method we use in our workflow. We also use additional automation in later stages, which will be discussed in the future materials. This guide represents an initial minimum set of requirements that helps us create consistent and future-ready project for our clients. If you are unsure whether your current Nuxt or WordPress project follows effective quality standards, we can help assets in from business and delivery perspective. Our team review the current state of your codebase, identify potential risk, and provide clear report covering what is working well, where is the maintainability at risk, which issues can affect the future development, and how delivery quality can be improved. So get in touch with us to review your current setup and identify the best next step for improving reliability and long-term success. Thank you for your time and see you in the next video. Bye bye.